Hello, my name is Florence Mudzingwa. You can call me Coach Floe. I'm a digital marketer and author. I recently published a book called Love Life, The Art of Living Your Dreams. I was born with a disability. I've worked in the corporate sector for the past 15 years as a Microsoft sales executive, selling Microsoft products for a gold certified company in Zimbabwe. Why am I telling you all this? Because I was born with a disability. Sometimes most people look at themselves or any situation and think that they are unable to do anything. But it all starts with the mind. It's how you perceive yourself. And if you look at yourself and say, let me be who I want to be, and don't think that anybody owes you anything. You are the master of your own life. And whatever that you want to perceive or achieve, you have to think about it and be intentional and determined. It doesn't mean that I didn't face any challenges. I did. I had to adjust to my disability. I have a disability called osteogenesis imperfecta. It's a disability where one grows up small in stature and the bones are brittle. It wasn't easy. Sometimes I would go for some time in hospitalized because of a broken arm or a broken leg. You would think that it would be safer to stay indoors where I'm safe and protected. But through the love of family, they always encouraged me and supported me, that I didn't feel any way different from my siblings and my cousins. And that made me excel. Even when I went out there into the world, I would tell myself that I can conquer, I can do it. Not that fear didn't come upon me. There was a lot of fear. How would people appreciate me? I'm small. Will I be able to also be competitive in the big world out there? But through the grace of God and through a positive mindset, I managed to excel and continue to develop myself. So I just want to encourage you out there, where whatever situation, you might not be disabled, you might have some disability, you might have a chronic illness, or just anything that is stopping you, with depression, suicidal thoughts. It's not the end of the world. You can be anything you want to be. Just pull yourself together and gather the confidence, gather the desire, and tell yourself that you are unique. You can do whatever you want to do on your own without having to feel sorry for yourself. Most of the times, it's the negative emotions that we tell ourselves. And sometimes the things that people tell us, a lot of times we suffer because we want to be validated by the next person. But the best person that can validate you is yourself. So I encourage you to understand more of yourself. It took me a lot of time to love myself, to be confident in the way I dress, the way I perceive myself out there. It took a lot of courage, and that's the same with you. Nobody was born special. Nobody was born a leader. We all have our unique qualities that we can pull through. And I believe that whatever your mind perceives, that it can do. It's all in our mindset, how we feel about ourselves. So go out there and conquer and be the best version of yourself. I am the last born in a family of 5, consisting of 2 girls and 3 boys. My first encounter into the world was when I started my top flight secretarial went to presectorial at YIC Academy. I was the only, in my class, I was the only person with a disability. At first, the lecturers found it very challenging, I guess, because I had to sit on a chair leaning for me to be able to reach the desk, even though I had a cushion. And they would always wonder if I would be able to write notes and be at the same pace with others. But I was able to be fast and also transcribe notes quickly and easier. And that also gave them some confidence that at least she's able to do anything. And at that time, I used to move on crutches. So when we had our, each and every time there was a stream that would, when you were completing, you had to do an event, plan an event, since we were being taught to be secretaries. So that year we did Miss Valentine's, and I also took part in the modeling for the show and organizing and preparations. My classmates were very supportive. They made me feel a sense of belonging in the class that I never felt that I was any different. And so that gave me confidence to continue with whatever I was doing. And then I got a job. At first I started as a receptionist, PA to the MD, and then I moved on further to become the sales executive, the senior sales executive for a Microsoft company. There I spent 15 years. It was good exposure. When I started selling, because we would go and meet executives for companies, and then you would have to do a pitch to them to sell the Microsoft products. At first, I would always have this fear in me that will I be able to do it? I am presenting to executives. How would they perceive me? But my former boss was very encouraging. He would always say, "Flo, you are tiny, but inside of you there's a giant." I would just smile, but deep down I'll be like, "Oh man, how will I face this?" But I would always go and do what I had to do. And one day there was an executive that said, "You have taught us something. When we used to see you coming through, we would wonder how will she be the one presenting and all, but you showed us that disability does not mean inability, and that you're actually an asset and not a liability, because most organizations, they think that employing a person with disabilities is a liability to the company." So thank you for that, for giving us an eye-opener and insights about disability. And moving on, I embarked on a degree at Zimbabwe Open University, a counseling degree. I always loved human behavior and to see how people, their emotions and how they feel, because I believe that each and every one, if we are not compassionate with each other and understand each other's perceptions, we won't be able to work together. So that's when I embarked on a degree, the counseling degree. That degree also, I wanted to work with other girls, women and girls with disabilities. That's when I founded Hope Resurrect Trust, a trust that empowers the girl child to build confidence in them, to also, one needs to have confidence and be safe in their own skin and to understand who they are before they can go out into the world. And that is what Hope Resurrect Trust seeks to do. Um, then next, I embarked on a coaching career with International Coaching Mentoring Foundation, where I did my life coaching. That's where I derived the name Coach Floe. Coach Floe, because the flow is a zone of flowing with confidence, flowing with who you are. That's where I got the name. And it's a place where I'm more into personal development and emotional intelligence. Most of the time we don't know ourselves. We don't know how to interact with others. So that emotional intelligence teaches us, even at the workplace, how we should relate, family, every sphere of our lives. We have to have the emotional intelligence to know how the next person is feeling and how can I relate, and when they've answered me, how do I also respond. Besides all that, I also did a diploma in web designing. I'm a member of Diplomatic Toastmasters Club. Why did I join Toastmasters? I joined Toastmasters to overcome the fear of speaking in public. Yes, you wouldn't see me even doing this because I used to be very shy. But with Toastmasters, I'm overcoming that fear. And one day, who knows, I'll be speaking internationally because I've overcome one fear that I am now working on developing myself to be more confident. Yes, I'm confident, but I need to level up and be intentional in everything that I do. This is my book, Love Life, The Art of Living Your Dreams. I call it my COVID baby, where I wrote it in 2021 when we had a lockdown. This book, what drove me to write the book was how, so many people were getting so depressed and a lot of suicides because of what we were going through. It wasn't an easy place. And that's when I just said, let me just encourage someone out there who's going through a difficult place. Yes, we might not have all the answers. We might have not all the solutions in life. But sometimes if we just sit back and try and figure ourselves out, we can come out of any difficult situation. And so this book, it talks about my childhood up to where I am right now. The challenges I faced. Why am I saying the challenges? Being born with a disability is not easy, and it's something that you cannot say, I don't want to have a disability. It's something that was there to stay, and I had to adjust to understand myself, to understand my disability, to love myself in that condition that I am. And so that is what this book is all about. It's got some exercises as well to do, reflections on how you feel. And yes, it has a butterfly that is coming out of a cocoon. At the end of the book, I write about, the butterfly, how a lot of us, we look at ourselves, we look at the butterfly, and we see its beauty, but we don't know the transformation process that it had to go through, being in the cocoon, forcing itself out, and finally becoming that beautiful butterfly that we admire. And that is how it is with everyone's life. We go through those struggles. But tell yourself when you are in that struggle, I am just in the cocoon process. I am going to come out, I am going to flourish and be beautiful like a butterfly. My future endeavors, I'm planning to start an online coaching and counseling clinic that I hope first to coach a person needs to be counseled before they can be coached, because at least you are able to resolve those challenges that you have, the personal challenges that you're going through, and then we can coach you to be the person that you want to be and unveil your uniqueness. I just want to encourage someone going through a most difficult time, that it's not the end of the world. Just believe in yourself and try to do the best with what you have. Don't try to compete with anyone. Walk in your lane. Be confident of yourself. Even if you face challenges, don't give up. Keep on pushing. One day you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.